Hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed your holiday season, and with the new year I wanted to do something new with the channel. If you followed my series on this game, then you're probably aware that I ended up getting the One True King Platinum Trophy. During that journey I discovered that I'd missed some things along the way, and ended up having to do some research to find what I'd missed. So I decided to put this video together in hopes of making this a little easier for other players. This video is a bit lengthy, but if you get all the way through and enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if the overall reaction to the video is positive, I'll post more videos on how to platinum other games in the future. And let me start with saying some of the trophies cannot be acquired until post-game, so if you have not beaten the game yet, I'd highly recommend finishing the main story. Let me start with saying some of these trophies cannot be acquired until post-game, so if you've not yet beaten the game, I would highly advise finishing the main story before you finish this video, as there may be some spoilers. Now, let's get into the trophies. First up are the 9 trophies for beating all 9 chapters of this game, and those are pretty straightforward. Additionally, there's 2 more you'll get just for playing through the game. One is Seagoing King for using the boat for the first time, and the other one is King of the Skies, which you've probably guessed is for using the Zeppelin for the first time. A small tip for some players that may not be aware, in your options menu, when you press the touchpad, there's an option called Library. It's a good reference to keep track of how you're progressing with various trophies, and I'll take a look at it here. And in this menu you can see various things that you've collected, the Citizen Almanac, more on this later, and just different statistics that you can kind of check on to see your progress for other trophies. The next group of trophies are for doing side quests and errands. You can get all 3 errands trophies by obtaining them from the Quick Solutions Taskmaster and then turning them back in when you've completed them. And I've gone ahead here and quick traveled to Ding Dong Dell, and the Taskmaster is this gentleman in the blue coat. And if you go to your minimap, he's a little, like, I don't know, it's like a stone or a jar or something, little icon there. So if we just approach him and speak with him, you can see that you can take on tasks, and this is where you'll obtain them. And as you can see, it'll tell you if you already have the items required to turn some of these in. Here you can see I've only got 2 out of 4. And this is for defeating some monsters. I find it easiest to just see what I can grab and then just kind of turn in. So just grab those 2, and then you can actually go right here to report completed tasks. And you can see the 2 I just picked up are already available to be completed. So we'll turn them in, and we will move on to the quests. Now, as for side quests, the easiest way I've found to get most of these is just by opening your map whenever you're in any of the kingdoms. And this works for Evermore as well. And then on the map, you'll see blue exclamation marks. And what this will, well, let's see, do we have, no, it doesn't look like we have any here. So what we'll do, we'll just go to Evermore. I believe I've got some here to just kind of show what they look like. And just as a note for this set of trophies, there's 4 of them. Oh, looks like the DLC I downloaded. So you'll see on the mini map up there, and then if I just bring up the big map, a couple of exclamation marks for some side quests that are available. And so what you would do, you would just, find that citizen, speak with them, complete the quest, and after you get 150 of the 175 completed, you'll have all 4 of your trophies. Now, if you want to do them all at once, I would suggest completing the base game first. If you go into your quest log and take a look here under the second option, you'll see you'll have all of the quests that you've completed. You have the ones up here that you have not completed but you've found. And I've put a link in the description for a site that I found useful when I was trying to find my last couple missing quests. And now that you have that guide at your fingertips, you should be able to make short work of these side quests. And so we'll move on to other trophies that are closely tied to your kingdom. And the first three I want to talk about are simply for recruiting your first, 50th, and 100th citizen. And there is one citizen that I want to kind of bring up because I missed her early on in the game and she took quite a while to level up, and so I was waiting to do some research because I needed her skills leveled up. So her name is Alice, and you get her from going back into Auntie Martha's cottage, and I think it's right here, Auntie Martha's cottage. And so once you recruit Auntie Martha, which is a requirement as you play the game, she's one of your first citizens, you end up being able to come back here and revisit the cottage, and Alice will actually just be right here to speak to. And she'll send you on a quest, and once you complete that, you will be able to use her in your kingdom, level her up, and hopefully not impede any of that research that you'll need to get some of the other trophies. And we'll skip through this real quick. And I believe she gives you a side quest. There we go. Number 25. And you can see it's recommended level 22, which is pretty early on in the game. And you can complete this quest by using that link that I put in the description for all the side quests. Now, Alice isn't the only citizen that's closely tied to side quests. I would say a vast majority of citizens are tied to side quests, so if you're using the link that I provided for the side quests, just go ahead, complete the side quests, and get your citizens built up, and then you'll be able to grow your kingdom. The next two trophies that you'll get that are related to your kingdom are, are for cooking up 50 unique dishes. Well, your first and 50th. And if you go over here and you speak to Floyd, you'll see. There we go. If you go to cook, it'll tell you which ones you've accomplished or you've cooked already. Like this one I've not cooked. Oop, here we go. And you just create it, and then you get the little check mark for it. And the key here is there's one dish that you won't be able to make until post game, and that's because you can't get the recipe until you complete quest number 160. And the again, the link that I provided before will give you all the information that you need for that, and then you'll be able to also complete this trophy as well, or these two rather. And then moving on to the next group of trophies, we'll just kind of take a tour of the kingdom. So here in Spellworks, you'll have to level up 50 of your spells or get 50 levels worth of upgrades. So I just got that one. And then if you go back here, you can see I can level this up to level 7. And you just do that until you get the trophy for doing 50 upgrades. And then moving on, your armorer, or outfitters rather. When you go to make armor / accessory, you have to make 50 armors. And you can see I've kind of worked through them as I've progressed through the game. And then here's your shoes, accessories. You just kind of get the materials, create the item, get a check mark, and that'll help you kind of keep track of how many unique items you've created. And the same goes for the weaponsmith or weapon workshop. You just go in here and see which ones you've made, see which ones you still need to make, and looks like I missed that one, for example, so we'll make that, and that just helps you get these trophies. And then moving on to this building, the Higgledy. Now you have to cook up 50 of these adorable little, I think they're Higgledies? Yeah, say that 5 times fast. So you cook up 50 of them, and then you get your trophy. And some of the required materials, you need to go to the faraway forest to get some of these. So like here you can see mining camp for these, but if you go to like these, it tells you like fish markets, Swift Solutions, you can get those. Swift Solutions, some of them require the faraway forest. I must not have unlocked that yet on this account. So, yeah, it doesn't look like I've unlocked the faraway forest yet. But, that's kind of like end game materials that you'll need for some of those. Now, the last trophy that's closely tied to your kingdom is for just building facilities. So if you go into your... Oh, looks like I'm collecting some stuff. If you go into kingdom management here and go under facilities, it'll tell you what you've built, and then it should tell you, well, there you go. You can jump to like the plot setting, click on it, and then when you have the building requirements, you'll hit build facility. From what I've read, this specific one is for some DLC that came out that I haven't completed yet. But you would do that for any of these facilities, and once you build 20 of them, you get the achievement. So it's nothing too crazy. You just do your research, you know, get your citizens, and just kind of be patient. It's kind of a lengthy process, but it's kind of rewarding along the way as well. And another trophy that you'll get as you build your kingdom is for getting 70 million influence. Now on this save, if you look over on the right side of the screen, you'll see I only have 61 million. I don't have all of my facilities leveled up as high as they could be. Oh, it looks like this one is I can expand coffers. There we go. But if you go to, oh, we'll go back, facilities. Let's see. So, Expert Explorers Guild looks like it still has a slot that I can upgrade. So, if you look in the bottom left, you'll see one of the citizen slots has a lock on it. That tells me that I haven't upgraded it all the way yet, so I can just jump to it, and then you once you meet the requirements, you can level up the facility. And so here you'll see it tells you how much it costs, and then it looks like it gives you like 630,000 influence, and you just level your buildings, and your influence will eventually hit 70 million. Now, I did put a link in the description to um, help anybody that's struggling kind of understanding the kingdom management aspect of the game. And I read through it, and they make some good points. They give some quick tips on, you know, what to do early on, what to focus on, and I wish I would have found this before I really got into building my kingdom, because I feel like it wouldn't have taken me 120 hours to platinum the game had I had that knowledge at my fingertips. Now, the very last trophy that has to do with your kingdom is getting your castle to level 4. So, Evermore Castle. We'll just jump to it, and you'll see there's a requirement of having 100 citizens recruited, and that's impossible during the main game. You can only get that after you've beaten the game and you do these post-game side quests that become available, and in those side quests you'll get the last few citizens required to upgrade Evermore Castle to level 4. Now let's move on to trophies that you'll acquire while adventuring. The first two are just for finding and opening treasure chests, so I advise exploring every chance you get. The trophies for opening 100 and 200 chests, and if you find yourself at the end of the game or near the end of the game and you still haven't opened all 200 chests for both trophies, you can go into the faraway forest and farm the Dreamer's Door there, as it has a fair amount of chests in it. This is probably the most efficient way to get your chests if you're missing them and don't want to explore the rest of the world again. Now, speaking of Dreamer's Doors, there's 3 trophies you get by completing these. One for doing your first Dreamer's Door, which you can do as soon as you obtain your second side quest, Top Marks for Trying. And I think I still have it on this account actually. Hitting all the wrong buttons. Quests, side quests. There we go. Top Marks for Trying. And this basically just wants you to complete 9 different, they call them dreamers, mazes, or dungeons, what other games would refer to them as. And so you complete all 9 of these, and then a 10th one opens up. And that's what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about the faraway forest Dreamer's Door. And the third trophy, so you get one for your first Dreamer's Door, a second trophy for doing all 10, so the 9 for this quest, and then the faraway forest is the 10th one. And then the third trophy is for when you go into the Dreamer's Doors, or the Dreamer's Mazes rather, and you'll see I made the Top Marks for Trying my active side quest, and on my map there it had a blue diamond. Here you can see it on my mini map here. And so I'll just snag my Zeppelin and just fly right to it. Should be right around here. There we go. Sundown Woods. So, and this is how most of them will work. You can use the side quest tracker to find the location of all of them. And as you're progressing through the game, it's not a bad idea to do the Dreamer's Door that's relevant to your level. Fight these things real quick. Just little peons, really. Let's go. Oh. There we go. So, let's go. And so, you'll always have a save point, because once you enter the Dreamer's Maze, you can't save it. So I would advise saving before you enter. And then you go in and you just complete the maze, come back out, and kind of move on from there. I'll pop in here. I'll show you what the danger gauge looks like, because the trophy's for getting it to level 5, but I don't think you actually have to complete the whole maze. So in the top right, you'll see the gauge is just kind of going up and up and up. I'm just going to run past all these guys because I don't really feel like fighting them. But as the, and then here's the treasure chests I was showing you, or I was speaking about earlier. There you go. So when you find the door, anytime you're in here and you see one of these doors, it takes you to the next area. Or you can just click on it and leave if you feel like you're kind of in over your head and you don't want to like die and lose your experience or items that you've gained. It's probably best to just leave the Dreamer's Maze. So if you let your danger level hit 5 and then you find the store and then leave, I'm pretty sure you'll actually get the trophy for that. I don't think you actually have to go all the way through and then like beat the boss at the end of the maze. So this one's not too crazy. Now, the next two trophies I want to cover are for finding the Higgledy Stones that are scattered across the world. Now, they follow a similar format that the other trophies do. One for finding your first one, well, finding and feeding, because you have to give them items, give them the correct items, rather. And then one for finding and feeding all 26 of the stones. Now, this one I had a little trouble with, so I had to use the guide in the description to find the last 4 or 5. And please note, the guide only gives like general areas, or like towns or caverns where you can find them. So you'll have to do a little bit of exploring yourself. And honestly, this was probably my least favorite trophy to obtain. And the last adventuring trophy is for finding 50 trapdoors. Now, you'll get this naturally through just exploring a little bit in each new area, so this one doesn't really need a guide. The last major group of trophies is for battling. The first two are relatively simple. You just defeat 1,000 and 2,000 enemies. You'll get those naturally as you progress through the game. And the next is for gathering 2,000 colored balls. And let's see if I can provoke these guys. And so there's... oh, may have missed it. So, as you're battling, they're not going to do it for me. Of course not. So, let's see if we can go find some more enemies here. But basically, as you're battling, you'll see these different colored orbs on the ground, and the different colors mean different things, I believe. Like, blue replenishes your MP, green replenishes your HP, and then yellow will actually do what is called Awaken You. And there's actually a trophy for getting awakened the first time and the 50th time, so you get 2 trophies just by, you know, getting those balls there. And I do have a video, it was like the first 4 minutes of, you know, like just running around the world when I first started playing. So there was some battling I did. Oh, here's some monsters. We'll see what we can do here. So it looks like there's a few. So there was a green one that healed me. There's a blue one that did MP. And the yellow ones are less common, and I think that's why you only need 50 to get both trophies. But yeah, just battle, collect the orbs, and eventually you'll get all of the trophies for those. The next two trophies that we'll talk about are for killing tainted monsters, and you can track these. Oh, it's not what I meant to press. You can track these in the library like we spoke about earlier. So if you click here, so here's the ones I've defeated. Here's a couple that I still need to defeat, and it looks like I've found them. I just haven't defeated them yet, and it tells you where they're found at. And then as you're exploring, if you just look at your map, you'll see this like purple icon on the screen, and we're not too far away. We'll just kind of fly down there and say hello, because they're slightly stronger than your average monsters, and here we go. So if you landing sequence, you see how there's like a purple aura around them? That kind of makes them stand out a little bit more than just your average enemy. And then when you run up to them, they'll tell you what level they are. So you can just kind of, he's got a little bit more powerful. Wow, that was unexpected. And I put a guide, or not really a guide, but a link in the description that tells you where you can find all of the tainted monsters, just to make this quest a little bit easier for anybody that just kind of wants to blow through it. If you're at the end of the game already and you've missed a bunch of them, it'll just streamline it a little bit more. The last two battle-related trophies are for winning your 1st and 50th unique skirmishes. This one can seem cumbersome due to the random nature of how they're spawning. And if you look at the world map, you'll see a flag icon. So here you'll see some flags with checks on them. Those are ones I've completed. And let's see if we can find ones. So here's one. It's a flag with the red, the blue, and white or gold. And that's one I haven't completed. Now, if I were to teleport to Broadleaf, these may change, and that's what I was referring to earlier as the random nature of these. So I find it easiest to just I find it easiest to just when you're on the world map, see what's available. If you've completed everything that's listed there, you can simply go into a kingdom and leave. And this is going to make me a liar, so we'll go into Broadleaf. And then we'll exit, and when we come back out, it should have different skirmishes available. So here we go. Alright, so no. So looks like they're still the same. Even that one. But if you get to a point, and this is the cumbersome part, if you get to a point where you're looking all over the map and you're seeing completed skirmishes, just respawn, go into a kingdom, come back out, and if you find one, I found the safest bet is to just use the Zeppelin and fly straight to it. It doesn't take more than like a minute and a half to go from like one side of the map to the other. And this will prevent you from like fast traveling somewhere and then it deciding to repopulate your skirmishes, and then you lose the one you've been looking for. And I've actually linked a couple of things in the description regarding this. There is a map of basically where all the skirmishes are, and then there's another link that'll list them all out, so you can know if you're missing any or not. The last 3 trophies don't really fall into any other categories, so I grouped them together as miscellaneous. The first one's easy enough to understand. You have to amass 500,000 Guildier, and what this means is when you go into your menu here, your Guildier is there in the top right. You'll see I have 43,803, and I think at this point on this save I did not have this trophy, because I thought it was cumulative throughout the whole game. So you acquire it, and it just counted towards that 500,000. But that was not the case. So what I found, and this save is actually towards the end of the game. It's actually in the last chapter. So what I found is if you just go to one of the shops, so I think I can do it here, and you just go to sell, you'll see I've got a ton of just old equipment from like early on in the game, and you can just should be able to, there we go, triangle, just select it all, then go to the next tab and select those, and just kind of do that whole song and dance with all the stuff that you don't want, and then you'll just hit X. Now that's just 5,000. Doesn't seem like a lot, but you'll notice I only clicked on a few things. And I would say if you're at the end of the game, that's probably the fastest way to do it, because getting money in battle isn't the quickest way to do it. But if you find a way that works for you, go ahead and use that way. And then once you get the 500,000 cumulative, you'll get your trophy. Now the trophy Higgledy Gaggle, say that 3 times fast, for getting matching Higgledies was kind of odd because I didn't really understand what they were looking for. But if you go into your menu, let's see here, and go into party, what they're looking for is you to have three of these guys that kind of all look the same. So like this gentleman, he's got the little glasses. Let's see if we can find another one that has the aviator goggles there. Now I don't have as many unlocked on this profile, so I may not have them. But these ones kind of look the same, so I'm sure these two would be part of a set. So basically, you equip for that look the same or have similar things going on there. And I really didn't have that many unlocked at this point. But for your convenience, I did put two links for this trophy. One tells party compositions that will work for this. As you see, each of these little guys have their own names, and so the guide will tell you which ones to put in a party together. And then there's a list of how to get each and every single one of these. And if you go under the library again, we will see that here we go. You'll see they're all numbered, and there's quite a few of them. There's 106, and at this point, I had only had 35 out of 106, so it's no wonder I didn't have the party composition for this. Lastly, the music buff trophy is obtained for getting all songbooks, or I think 30 of them. I think there's a total of 31, but you only need 30. And most of these are tied to side quests or killing tainted monsters, but others are found around the world. I'm sure you're shocked, but I've placed yet another list in the description. This is by no means a guide on where to find them, but most of them are tied to tainted monsters and side quests, so you can use the other guides I provided to help with that as well. And with that, you should have all the knowledge at your fingertips to obtain the Platinum Trophy, One True King. And if you would like more guides like this, make sure to let me know which games interest you and click the like and the subscribe buttons on your way out. I'll see you next time. Thank you.